Mic check, mic check. There it is. We're live.
It's there.
Hooray, let's give us an applause.
Hello.
Nice to see you. Yeah, we were talking about how lucky we were because it's St. Patrick's Day. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Happy Friday. Welcome to the Wake Up America show. I'm Austin Peterson. It does look like it's popping right now. There's just always some kind of gremlin in the machine. And so thank you very much to Camellia for pointing it out.
Oh my gosh.
We appreciate that.
Yes.
Yes. They did hear the music though, and that was nice.
If you're really good at lip reading, you'd be having a great time.
Exactly. Thanks so much for tuning into the Wake Up America show, where things sometimes go wrong because we're live streaming. But yeah, we're glad to have you here. Happy Friday. Welcome to the program. And yeah, yay, says Kermode Bear. So I'm going to take that as an example that we actually have got some audio here. My lovely wife, Stephanie Peterson, joining us in studio here.
The closed captioning wouldn't have worked either.
No, nothing would have worked without it. So it's just every once in a while, the audio just decides to turn itself off for random reasons. Okay. Glad to have you here. We've got at the top of the show, Donald Trump's epic anti-war speech. I got to say, when I first read the headline this morning that was talking about the speech, because I didn't see it yesterday, the headline was, Trump rages at Americans he views as enemies in new campaign screed.
That's a horrible headline title.
Oh yeah, well when you read that, you're instantly like, oh man, he's going to say something cringe here. It's going to be awful. But of course, you should always read past the headlines, which we have done, and watch the speech, which we're going to play here in just a minute. And I got to say, it was a great speech, and I got to give him a kudos. You know, my view when it comes to politicians is praise them when they do something right, and damn them when they do something worth damning.
Exactly. Nobody's perfect.
Nobody's perfect, but the thing is that you want to take an approach to say, hey, listen, when somebody's doing something that you support and is good, give them praise. And I got to say, Donald Trump's speech here, absolutely praiseworthy. He's trying to keep us out of World War III. And the media is like, rages at Americans he views as enemies.
I think the title should have said non-interventionist.
Yeah.
That would have been a better word so we'd actually know what we're about to watch on the video.
Exactly. I love the speech, and I think it was fantastic. And I didn't really have a lot to quibble with it, but we'll play it here. We'll react to it. We'll talk about it here in just a few minutes. After that on the show, Mike Pence also kind of like going base.
He's doing some good things.
Donald Trump saying some good things. Mike Pence saying some
Mike Pence will still be his vice president, right? If he runs.
Oh, no.
Oh, he's not?
No, hit the laugh track.
Oh.
Not gonna,
so if you run again, you don't have to run with the same person. You can run with someone different.
As a matter of fact, I think that, didn't Calvin Coolidge like switch up his VP or something like that?
I'm not sure. I guess we got to write another book about that.
Maybe we do.
Part 2.
Maybe we do. Yeah. So got to give kudos to where it is. Mike Pence gave another nice little speech talking about privatizing Social Security.
There you go. Did somebody else in government get shunned for wanting to privatize Social Security recently?
Listen. If there's one thing that Republicans and Democrats both agree on is that they hate libertarians and that they do not agree with us when it comes to things like privatizing Social Security. Some Republicans do. I think Mike Pence actually means what he says here, but the reality is that when the polls come up, when you ask the American people, do they agree with libertarians about privatizing Social Security? Most people are like, no, God!
Right.
No, God, no, they don't agree with that. It's like a lot of things, like we believe in the legalization of drugs for adult users for recreational purposes. Do you think most people in America agree with us? No, God, they don't agree with us. But just because, the mass amount of people believe something doesn't mean it's true. Remember, the mass psychosis during the COVID years? Groupthink, yes. And sometimes the solutions to our problems are counterintuitive. Social Security is one of those things. We'll play that clip of Mike Pence being based and savage at 7:20 this morning. At 7:30 this morning, we're going to talk about online. The question is online illness culture keeping people sick. Did you like this story? It's interesting, right?
I did. Yeah. We actually talk about this quite a lot.
And because, of course, you are a therapist.
I am.
Right. So this is, hypochondria, right, is one word that you might use. And that's when people actually aren't sick, right? But then there's also people who were sick who want to stay sick.
Yes, because they have a social support system when they're sick.
They do. And we'll talk about that at 7:30 this morning, and it'll be interesting and fun. After that, 10 common habits that are sabotaging your success. I've got a list of 10 habits that might be stopping you from getting ahead in the world, and we'll go through that top 10 list. And that's when things start getting really fun. And at 8 o'clock today, red flags that someone can't be trusted, according to science. Yes, science has proven.
If science says it,
If science says it,
we have to believe it.
You have to follow the science. Absolutely. So follow the science. We'll talk about red flags that you cannot trust someone. And then after that, we'll talk about, oh, yeah, this was this story that you and your mom were really fired up the other day.
We were talking about that lunch at the deli.
Remember when we went to the old brick house deli the other day, and I got double meat on my pastrami because I like the meat. But we were talking about sharing food and how, as I was reaching into your mom's chip bag for some chips, I just have to wonder how she felt about that at the time, because
cringe.
We're
very opinionated on that topic.
You know what?
Mom is in studio today, by the way.
Let's give her a round of applause, studio audience. Yes, Ver Nicole here with us today. Yes, it's been a great week. Tonight we're going to go see Queen, aren't we?
See a laser light show at the Science Center in St. Louis.
Featuring the music of
Queen.
Yes. So we will rock you tonight. St. Louis, we're going to be in you. Should be a good show. And we're looking forward to that tonight. You can text the show today at 573-319-1586. That's 573-319-1586. Our friend Elizabeth Fanning Press says that shade of green is great on the lovely Stephanie. Yes, it is.
This is actually a hand-me-down shirt from my friend.
Really? Yes, it does. It's very magical. Yes, very beautiful.
It's meant for me.
Yes, it really matches your red hair nicely.
Nails done. We got to show me.
Yes, very nice. I don't think I have a zoom button, unfortunately, on this camera, so you can just.
It's so bright you can't see. It's cherry blossom pink.
Cherry blossom pink for our trip to Japan coming up in like a week and a half.
That's right.
We're super excited about that one. And don't forget, you will get the Wake Up America show while we're out of town. So say domo arigato, Mr. Roboto. My brother, Justin Peterson, is going to be hosting the show.
Wow. That is really cool.
Can I just be honest? He's nervous. So would you please be nice to him?
I don't blame him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is a lot of
I would need my emotional support rooster every step of the way if I were doing that.
Size 13 shoes to fill here. As a matter of fact, actually, my brother has the exact same shoe size. We both.
Yeah, he's a tall guy. He's a big guy.
I don't know how he got all the height, but I still have big old giant clown feet. So it's unfortunate. Anyways, let's go ahead and start the top of the show here with our friend Donald Trump, who actually gave a speech that I have to say I had a hard time finding anything that I disagreed with in it. Let's take a listen to his speech.
World War III has never been closer than it is right now. We need to clean house of all of the warmongers and America Last globalists and the deep state, the Pentagon, the State Department, and the national security industrial complex. One of the reasons I was the only president in generations who didn't start a war is that I was the only president who rejected the catastrophic advice of many of Washington's generals, bureaucrats, and the so-called diplomats who only know how to get us into conflict, but they don't know how to get us out. For decades, we've had the very same people, such as Victoria Nuland and many others just like her, obsessed with pushing Ukraine toward NATO, not to mention the State Department support for uprisings in Ukraine. These people have been seeking confrontation for a long time, much like the case in Iraq and other parts of the world, and now we're teetering on the brink of World War III. And a lot of people don't see it, but I see it, and I've been right about a lot of things. They all say Trump's been right about everything. None of this excuses in any way the outrageous and horrible invasion of Ukraine 1 year ago, which would have never happened if I was your president.
Hood.
Mic check. There it is. Lovely.
Yay.
Okay, we're back. Yeah, so it's basically all the scenes have got a little messed up audio in it, but hopefully it will be better. Anyways, so let's just repeat very briefly what we were saying there. I haven't heard a presidential candidate talking like this about war since World War III, since Ron Paul. And Donald Trump's speech here, I feel like it makes me want to vote for him. Because to me, being anti-war is one of the most important things that I want to see in someone who's running for president of the United States.
Sure.
What's your take?
I mean, I'm not so sure that it would drive me to vote for him because there's a lot of other issues.
Sure.
But I think it's a really good sign. I don't know how close we really are to World War III. I know people are always saying, oh, we're going to be in World War III before you know it. They've been saying that for so many years now. It's like, when is it really happening? So is he just trying to scare us up? Like, oh my gosh, you're going to get into World War III. Vote for me, right? Sure. We're campaigning because campaign season's coming.
Let's continue.
Not even a little chance. But it does mean that here in America, we need to get rid of the corrupt globalist establishment that has botched every major foreign policy decision for decades. And that includes President Biden, whose own people said he's never made a good decision when it comes to looking at other countries and looking at wars. We have to replace them with people who support American interests. Over our 4 years in the White House, we made incredible progress in putting the America Last contingent aside and bringing the world to peace. And now we're going to complete the mission. The State Department, Pentagon, and national security establishment will be a very different place by the end of my administration. In fact, just into my administration, it'll be a very different place, and it'll get things done, just like I did 4 years ago. We never had it so good.
He's right. We never had it so good as we did when Trump was president, economically, in terms of world peace, respect around the world. You know, we libertarians, we may have some criticisms of Donald Trump here and there, and certainly there's a lot of things that he does and says that makes me cringe.
He's not for immigration.
Yeah, that's
for example.
exactly. And you know, in terms of economy, if you want to really have long-term growth and build the GDP, you know, immigration is what you're going to need, especially because you know, we just can't fill a lot of these jobs that we need if you want to grow the economy. But again,
so I disagree with him there.
Yeah, we disagree with him on immigration.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. You know what the reality is on the immigration? And I know Trumpers aren't going to want to hear this, but the president can't really do as much as you think.
Really?
Like, he didn't.
Well, he was going to build the wall.
Did he build the wall?
I don't know. Is it like half built? What is it doing?
No, it's not built, and he can't, because the thing is that he needs Congress to be able to do that. Right. And in order to do that, you've got to have a much stronger majority of Congress. And even if he came in as president in 2 years, it's highly unlikely that there will be some kind of a massive sweep of Republicans who are going to be willing to outlay those kinds of funds. They may try, but here's the thing: it's not only not only is it infeasible to do it politically, but it's infeasible to do it from a actual, logistical perspective.
We don't have the money. Where's it coming from?
Here's the thing. It's not just the money. Even if you built the wall, we have this thing called ladders, right?
Yes.
We have drones. There's boats, right? There's too many. You can tunnel under it. You can ladder over it. So immigration, I think, is secondary to war. Because the last thing that we want to do is get more Americans killed, involved in some massive struggle between ourselves and Russia.
Of course. I wouldn't want to see us going to war right now to help Ukraine.
You certainly wouldn't want to go to war under Joe Biden. I think the reason why Putin invaded Ukraine is because he thought he could get away with it because Joe Biden is weak. Right? And the reason why Donald Trump oversaw a great era of peace and prosperity is because whether or not you like the guy or not, he is strong, right? He is perceived as strong, and he is strong. I think people thought that they didn't want to mess with him. One of my favorite pictures was of him sitting around with like the Prime Minister Shinzo Abe from Japan, who unfortunately was assassinated like a year ago. Remember him?
Yes.
He was like sitting back, and Angela Merkel of Germany, they're all like leaning over the table at Trump, like trying to intimidate him, and he's just like sitting back with his arms crossed. Like, I was like, hell, I was like, absolutely. America should stand strong and stand, with our allies. If anybody wants to stand with us, great. But if the rest of the world says, well, we're going to vote for socialism, and America needs to get along, you're so backwards. You know what I say? You know what? We're going to go our own way. You know, we've got our own laws, our own culture, our own country, our own constitution. America's great because we're not like other countries. We don't have to be like Europe. All those other countries suck. America, number one. USA, USA. Where's my USA button? I need over here. Hold on, wait. I've got Donald Trump over here. Here we go. From now on, it's going to be America first.
America first, people. They scare me a little bit.
They do. Well, that's, you know, again,
because America first means a lot more than just America first.
Let's not have a discussion about the interwar years between World War I and World War II and the America First Committee and how they actually, you know, how the National Socialists that supported the German American Bund.
In his speech, he talked about...
We're very pro-Semitic here, FYI.
Yeah, absolutely.
Continue.
In his speech, too, he was saying we need to rethink NATO.
Yeah, which I kind of agree with.
Or allies with other countries.
I kind of agree with that. I think that America doesn't need to be the policeman of the world. I would like to see an America that, you know, is more non-interventionist.
Of course. Yeah, I mean, that's always something I think about in my head. Mm-hmm. When do you intervene, right? It's like, do you intervene just to help a friend? Mm-hmm. Or do you intervene because somebody else is trying to attack you?
Mm-hmm. Yep, for sure.
It's a hard debate.
Yeah, Chris Morrill is really upset this morning because he hates Trump, but we're saying nice things about him.
Hey, I will say, I did notice his face is extra bronze. It's not even orange anymore. It's going to brown.
Here we are. We're talking about World War III, and you're commenting the bronzeness of his speech. You know what?
I mean, he's using some major tanning towels there.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give Donald Trump credit where credit is due. And I'm going to say that this speech was epic, big time. Kudos for Trump. I'm going to give him a big applause.
He keeps his promises, and I hope this is not just him trying to campaign and win an election, which is what politicians do. I don't have trust.
Yeah, Chris Morrill over there in the live stream right now is pulling a Greta Thunberg.
How dare you?
How dare you?
How dare you?
How dare you?
I'm not saying I'm voting for him. No, I voted for him.
I might. If he keeps talking like that, you know, and stop being cringy and stop going after Ron DeSantis, by the way, because Ron DeSantis is awesome too, and we like Ron. So. Did Trump get us out of Afghanistan? See, Camellia, the anti-Trump forces are really coming out this morning.
Out of Afghanistan now, right?
Yeah, but I believe that was a Biden route. That was a Joe Biden thing that they did right there. So,
yes.
Yeah, you take care of your own first. NATO sucks, says Elizabeth Fanning Press. Agreed. And you know what else I like that Trump said in the speech? And one last thing, and then we'll move on. I like that he said that it's not to excuse what Russia has done in their invasion.
Oh, okay.
Because I have heard a lot of right-wingers coming out and saying things like, well, Russia's, I side with Russia and all that kind of stuff.
Sure. People out there.
Yeah. Which I think is obnoxious and toxic, and I completely don't agree with. And I'm glad that Donald Trump called them out there because, it's he basically, in terms of foreign policy, laid it out the exact way I would have if I were president. So kudos to Donald Trump because he obviously cribs from my notes and watches the Wake Up America show.
Yeah, I mean, just because you think someone's wrong doesn't mean you have to go to war with them.
Exactly.
Right. So he's like, Russia's not doing cool things right now, but that doesn't mean I need to get America in this war.
Exactly. Are you ready to move on? We're gonna skip the commercial break and we're just gonna keep going through the show because we've been giving people muted audio.
That's funny. We got to give them a quality show.
We got to give them a quality show.
Their money's worth.
Yep, for sure. So we're going to play a clip of Mike Pence talking about Social Security. This was trending yesterday on Twitter. Take a listen.
Men and women, 70% of what we spend at the national level is on entitlements. And the truth is, we've got to have a conversation. I was a part of it when George W. Bush proposed Social Security reform in 2005. The time has come for us to have the kind of leadership that says to everyone that's got hair the same color as me, nothing's going to change for you. But to give younger Americans...
Well, he's saying everybody who's white hair, everybody who's older is, nothing's going to change for them. But he wants to start to change the system for young people. Let's continue.
One that's got hair the same color as me, nothing's going to change for you.
Right.
But to give younger Americans better choices.
Yeah.
That would also be better for the country, I think is an idea whose time has come. Amen. I think it's absolutely essential that we generate leadership in this country that'll be straight with the American people, that will take us off this trajectory of massive debt that we're piling on the backs of those grandchildren, and says there's a way back. There are modest reforms in entitlements that can be done without disadvantaging anybody at the point of the need. And actually, I think the day could come when we can replace the New Deal with a better deal.
Nice.
Literally
deals come into play.
Give younger Americans the ability to take a portion of their Social Security withholdings and put that into a private savings account.
So what he's proposing there is not like the ideal, necessarily what you and I would like to see, because what we would love is if they would just stop stealing Social Security money from us in the first place.
Stop forcing me to save.
Yes,
I know how to save.
Exactly.
I know how to invest.
Exactly.
I can do that myself.
Stop stealing our money, okay?
Exactly.
And don't force us to put it in some other account. Because here's the thing, I don't like the. Here's the thing. So what he's proposing is that we say take a portion of their Social Security and put it into an account that they can invest, right?
Right.
So what he's forcing is what they're doing is they're saying the Republican plan is force us to save for retirement by investing in Wall Street. Right. So it's kind of corporatist in that sense that it's like, oh, we won't force you to invest in treasuries through the Social Security fund, but we will force you to invest in Wall Street. Well, what if I don't agree with what Wall Street is doing or NASDAQ? Or what if I don't trust Wall Street?
Exactly.
What if I want to take my money and put it into gold? What if I want to take every
that would be a better idea, I think.
Exactly, which is why you can pretty much guess that I'm probably going to use this as a segue to talk about our sponsor, Layer Capital. But I'm not there yet. We will get there. I will just say that they shouldn't be taking the money from us in the first place. But I do think that I think it would be better served if it was put in the private market. All right, privatize Social Security. That's
right. The private market always does things better than the government.
Yeah.
But again, why is Mike Pence talking? Is he running for anything? What's happening here?
So the word is on the street is that Mike Pence might step into the presidential race. And if he keeps talking like that, I'll be like, yo, Mike Pence, you looking kind of handsome right now, I'll be honest.
Him versus Trump versus DeSantis.
I know.
What race is this?
A good one, honestly.
Isn't that a stab in the back?
Let's get Jeb Bush back in the race. Please clap. I got to say, after I've done my homework on Jeb Bush as governor of Florida, he I know people were like, Jeb, he's so weak. Donald Trump beat him up. But then I looked at his record as governor of Florida. Yeah. He was basically the best governor in Florida's history in terms of actual limited government principles. He cut the Florida state workforce by 10%.
Wow. Okay.
He introduced he killed this massive spending they were going to do on this rail line and stuff. So, I'm not going to be ripping on Jeb Bush for it because he did a great job.
Jeb, please clap, right?
Please clap. There we go. Please clap. Yeah. Thank you. Verna gave us a nice little clap earlier. Thank you, Verna.
Thank you, Mom.
Appreciate that one. Yes. So honestly, Chris Morrill says that Pence may be too sane for the current GOP base. Probably true. He's a little bit too straight-laced because now Republicans are very much these days.
Not convinced by any of these people. I don't believe any of them. I think he's just trying to win the young vote. He's like, come here, youngin.
I don't think
Come over here. Listen to Grandpa.
No. I don't. There is no young vote. Young people really largely don't vote. And if they do vote, they vote for Democrats. They don't vote for Republicans. As a matter of fact, in the last election, one of the reasons why Democrats won was because young people actually showed up to vote for the first time. And they voted en masse for Democrats. So maybe he's hoping that some young people are going to, vote for that. But I get the impression that Pence is saying there that what he says there, he actually believes.
He really cares.
Well, I mean, in terms of privatizing Social Security, yeah. So, I mean, but you and I, we basically want to privatize nearly everything.
I know. Of course.
Privatize it all. Boy, they hate that when we say that, the Democrats. They hate it. A lot of Republicans hate it too, but
absolutely. But I always say we can't have everything we want as libertarians. So it's better just to get closer and closer, inch by inch. So we got to privatize slowly.
Yes. Elizabeth Fanning Press is saying, don't fall for it. Oh, I'm falling for it.
I'm not falling for it. I'm too much of a skeptic. I'm sorry.
Mike Pence, I heart you.
I don't know. He's just not convincing to me.
And when I heard him say that, I was kind of like, Yes, making those nice sounds make me feel good. But it's hard to believe any politician. I get you, but I want to believe it's what it is.
Especially during campaign season. If you said this
know.
outside of campaign season,
well, the campaign season never ends anymore,
Right.
and it's all 4 years, 2 years. It's always campaign season.
That's true.
It's always in our face. But I got to say, Mike Pence, call me. I like hearing that. All right, what's next on the list, Stephanie, that we have to talk about?
Take a break.
I need to go pee too. I know
too.
it's pee break, right?
Sorry, guys.
You know what it is? It's St. Patrick's Day, and we've already been drinking and taking shots because we are at the bar. She's gonna go get herself a Bailey's Irish Cream, and I'm gonna have me a nice, lovely Irish whiskey. All right.
My mom, she's Friday. Going crazy over there.
Yes, she knows. She loves drinking, getting wild and drunk.
Kidding.
We'll be back.
We don't drink, my mom and I.
Yes, we don't want to spread any misinformation online, or else they'll send it. They'll put a little disinformation tab on the bottom of the live stream. We'll be back with more on the Wake Up America show at wakeupamericashow.com.
I like shooting things, but whenever I can't shoot something, I like to cut things. My life isn't all about shooting and stabbing and cutting, though. Sometimes I have to do actual work, but when I work, I still like to have fun. And there's nothing less fun than trying to cut with a crappy knife. Thankfully, from the ancient sect of Christian knights, who also loved cutting and stabbing, comes a new implement that has received my personal blessing, the Templar knife. Like the ancient sword of Excalibur, you don't choose a Templar knife, it chooses you. You just decide what kind you want on the website first, however, and then order it online, and then it chooses you. The Templar knife comes in a variety of shapes. As a man of culture and taste, I have decided I will never use a terrible knife again. And thanks to the inspiration provided by this excellent product, I have decided to launch a new crusade against anyone using less than superior knives. Join me, brothers and sisters, by visiting uppercuttactical.com/pages/Templar-knives. That's a lot of slashes. For that, you'll need a Templar knife. For 10% off, use code AP for Liberty and join me in a quest for glory, for liberty, for Christendom, for the Templar knife. Get yours today. Fire.
Hello, this is Barack Obama, and let me tell you why Austin Peterson stinks, and you should never pay attention to anything that he has to say. First of all, he's a libertarian, and we all know libertarians are idiots. They don't realize how important government is to everything that we do. I recently became aware that Austin has opened up a libertarian shop at apforlibertyshop.com. Now, I'm asking you as a personal favor to me that you never ever visit apforlibertyshop.com. With all of the great Liberty merchandise there, the last thing that we need to do is to get people spreading this message around the country, because then they might start thinking that they don't need government. And that's the last thing that good Democrats like us want. So if you love democracy, like me, and hate freedom, then don't visit AP for Liberty Shop. Like I said, whatever you do, do not visit apforlibertyshop.com. I'm Barack Obama, and I approve this message.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
I would remind you that extremism in the defense of liberty is no vice.
It is better to settle these matters in the courts than on the streets, and new laws are needed at every level. But law alone cannot make men see right.
Good morning. Rise in freedom. I'm Austin Peterson. You're watching and listening to the Wake Up America show at wakeupAmericaShow.com. It's Friday. Happy St. Patrick's Day. May the luck of the Irish be with you. Joining us now is a person of dubious Irish ancestry. My lovely wife, Stephanie Peterson.
I don't really know if I'm Irish. I think we got a little bit of Irish in us from my dad's side.
It's tough, you know. You've got that. You've got the Russian Jew, right, which is confirmed.
We're definitely Russian and Polish.
Right.
We know that.
Right, which you do get a lot of redheads in the Russian Jewish community.
My
right?
sister's a redhead too.
Exactly. Your sister's a redhead. Any other redheads in the family?
Yes, great aunts and uncles on my dad's side, and great grandparents on my mom's side.
So there you go. So that's it's in the lineage, if you will.
Oh,
but
yes.
everybody
It's recessive genes. Comes up.
Everybody loves a smoking hot redheaded libertarian chick. So thanks for being mine, Stephanie. Love you very much. Very excited for our upcoming trip to Japan. But don't fret, because the Wake Up America show will continue to broadcast. You'll still get your content. Just 1 hour a day though, instead of 2. I know. Aww. Yeah, exactly. Aw, but great news is my brother Justin Peterson is going to be hosting. Yeah, we love Justin.
So great.
He is. He's super. It's basically going to be big brain time every day, because my brother is super smart, and he taught me how to read, and I learned everything that I know.
It's a lot to say about a lot of things.
He does. We're looking forward to hearing his point of view on the show when I'm out of town, and I are going and visiting Kyoto and Tokyo and Osaka and Hiroshima.
Really see why war is bad in Hiroshima.
Talk about World War III. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
So go see where they dropped the bomb, and we're going to learn as much as we can, and also we're going to eat a lot of food. Stephanie is really concerned about the little octopuses that she sees. Octopi?
Yeah, they put these little like baby octopuses on these sticks, and they make them look like a dessert almost.
It looks amazing. They're like little octopuses, but then they take a quail egg, and then they like the quail egg is in like the head of the octopus. It just...
I mean, if it were like a sculpted candy, that would be cool.
No,
but it's an actual octopus. I don't know.
Octopus, I'm so excited. And then they have octopus balls, which are like the little fried octopus balls. Takoyaki is what they call that one.
Probably good. Anything fried is good.
Yeah, and then then there was the pancake. There's like the fried pancake thing. It's like it's like a noodle pancake.
And you said that's in Hiroshima?
Yeah.
You can get the pancakes.
You can get the pancakes there. In Hakone, we're going to eat the black egg.
Yes.
Which your mom was definitely like, black egg.
Yes, they mix it with the volcanic material.
Yeah, so they roast the egg in like volcanic ashes. And so the egg itself is black when you eat it, which I think is kind of interesting. So,
well, I wonder what it does to your digestive system.
Well, it's probably got some good healthy minerals and stuff like that in it from the volcano. We can say we ate a volcanic egg, which is going to be kind of nice. Anyways, they don't want to hear about our lavish trip to Japan. No. They want to hear about the news. I read an article on Reason Magazine yesterday, and the article's title was "Is Internet Spoony Culture?" Like spoony, like not spooning, but spoony culture.
I've never heard of spoonies before this, honestly.
Yes. So this is how it's kind of described. So this is a woman who wrote this book, Kelly Owens. She's the author of the Wandering Nerve newsletter. She says that what she sees is an online culture that serves as a valuable resource and source of community to many, but has increasingly become invested in the idea of disability as an identity.
Yeah.
Sometimes at the expense of scientific curiosity and innovative research. Or, to dumb it down, it's essentially what she's saying is that people who were sick, who have come together to build a community, are now invested in staying sick in order to be a part of the community. Your thoughts?
Absolutely. I mean, I totally can see that, because let's say that you're sick and then you get better. How can you relate to these people in this group anymore? Because they're all still complaining about their symptoms, and then you're feeling good. So it's like there's no connection anymore. That's all you have in common is your sickness. And I was thinking about it as my mom and I were actually talking about this. Like, she's in a cancer support group, for example. My mom had cancer several years ago, and she's in remission, so she technically doesn't have cancer anymore. But it's like you're still part of the cancer support group. And so your identity is the cancer, basically, talking about the cancer and being afraid of the cancer.
So, I mean, how dangerous is this to identify yourself? Your personality and your identity are tied to an illness. And then if that illness goes away, then how do you sort of divest yourself from that? Like, you still want to be a part of the community, but you're not a part of the community because you're not ill anymore. There is this, and you kind of laughed at this idea when I proposed it to you last week, but it's true. There is a community of people who call themselves transabled.
Right. Yeah, that was a new term for me. You called Kelvin transabled, I believe.
Yes, because I'm saying that he was pretending to be ill. But it is funny. Okay, I'll hit the laugh button. Hit the laugh track.
And he was paralyzed, right? So if he joined a paralyzed support group, he no longer would be part of that group anymore, because he'd be like, hey guys, I'm paralyzed, I'm Kelvin, but now I can walk. So like they'd be like, get out of the group, right?
That's a really good metaphor, I guess you might say, for it, or anecdote. I'm not sure. But here's the thing. So the transabled community are people who identify as disabled. And it's funny when you hear about it, but these people have actually blinded themselves. So there was an example of a woman.
Yes, you were talking to me about this.
There was an example of a woman who actually poured bleach in her eyes to disable herself. And I think there was a man who broke his legs.
Some sort of body dysmorphia issue where these people truly believe in their heart and soul that they were meant to be blind, or they were meant to be paraplegic, or to have an amputation.
Right.
Yes.
You can't give yourself cancer, right? There are certain things that you just can't fake.
Right.
But something like being blind, you can pour bleach in your eyes. Let me read this paragraph out loud. It's got some big words in it, so I'll go a little slow. The rise of a certain brand of extremely online identitarianism has given the chronically ill not just visibility, but a tribe unto themselves.
Yeah.
One that commands enormous attention and resources. Communities of the afflicted cluster on platforms like Tumblr and Instagram, sharing stories, tips, and memes centered on the experience of being chronically or mentally ill. The content can range from cheeky, like hot girls have IBS.
Right, making it cool.
Right, to devastating, where they're sobbing in the hospital, right? To deeply weird. There's a whole world of TikTok videos in which people with self-diagnosed dissociative identity disorder, also known as multiple personality syndrome, appear to shift from personality to personality like they're changing outfits. But it all boils down to the same thing, an identity found in being sick. We watch sometimes these TikTok cringe videos.
Oh my, they are very cringe.
And we can only watch them for like a couple minutes before the cringe is too strong. But there are a lot of these people who pretend to have like Tourette's.
Yeah,
right?
Dissociative identity disorder.
Multiple personality disorder, which is extremely rare, right? But
you cannot switch personalities just like that when you want to.
Right, exactly. So, I mean, a lot of them, they're faking it because here's the thing, because we've elevated victimhood to a favored status.
Right.
And here's the thing. I'm not suggesting you should bully cancer victims. I'm not suggesting that you should bully people who have mental personality disorders. But there's a problem when you sort of lift them up and put them at the center of society and say, oh, well, it's a favored status to have these kinds of things, because then people want to attain that status. And now we have, and the absolute least of the cringe is the TikTok cringe videos, but the absolute most cringe part of this is the fact that people are faking these disorders, maybe even using health resources wrongly, right? That's one thing. I mean, they're scamming people essentially.
I mean, I think you really need to have a balance here because sure, when you get sick, like if you get cancer, for example, or you get diagnosed with IBS, I mean, it is scary and it is helpful to talk to other people so you can get tips and tricks. What medications help you, what diet changes help you, what exercises help you. And so I think that is a very important part of it, is connecting with other people who have a similar illness so you can get ideas and get that support. But then when it just goes too far and that's like the only thing you think about, the only thing you do in your life, you have to have other things. It's just like somebody who has no hobbies.
Well, you know what? I think you really stumbled on the answer there. And I mean, I guess the question would be from that is, how do we give people a sense of identity that doesn't revolve around some form of mental illness? How do we give people a personality that doesn't, if we're talking about identitarianism, how do we give people a personality that doesn't revolve around their race? Right? How do we give people a sense of a personality that doesn't revolve around something that's clearly unhealthy, right? Or that leads them to some form of racial supremacy, because that's what identitarianism is in terms of race, right? It leads to white supremacy, black supremacy, and it leads us to be more isolated, more insular. How do we give people an identity that doesn't revolve around something like that? Like, how can we convince people, hey, how about identify yourself as your accomplishments and what you actually do in this life, rather than either the innate traits you were born with or the disease that you may or may not have?
Right. I mean, too much of anything can be bad. Too much success can be bad. If you're just too invested in your work and you're not thinking about your identity, for example, like some people, who get away from religious practices, if that's something that helps them, it's like they need both of those things in their life. They need to be in work, they need to be in religion. So you just need a bunch of things in your life. Don't put your eggs in just one basket.
But put all your black eggs in my mouth. Hit that laugh track, AP.
Exactly. And I think too, it's in therapy, we call it acceptance and commitment therapy. It's accepting what it is you cannot change. So, okay, I have, this illness, right? For example, I have Hashimoto's, right? So it's like, I accept that, but I'm also committed to living my best life and to have hobbies and to have friends and to be happy. So it's like you can still have something, have a mental illness, you can have a medical issue, but you can also be something else while you're having that.
Yeah, the chronically ill online identify themselves as spoonies.
Yeah, so the spoonies thing. So I'm like, what is that? I've heard that from a friend before where she's like, I only have so many spoons to give today. I'm all out of spoons. And so it's all about using spoons to measure how much energy you have for something.
That's weird.
Like, oh, I only have so much energy, which means I only have so many spoons. And each spoon, so you have one spoon for taking a shower, one spoon for driving in your car. Uh-oh, I'm all out of spoons. I can't do anything now. Maybe you should get a fork. There's silverware.
So the term spoonies traces to a 2003 blog post by Christine Miserandino, who used
I don't have enough spoons to pronounce that name.
Right, who used spoons as a metaphor to explain the finite supply of energy she has as a chronically ill person. Showering costs a spoon, maybe more than one if you need to shave your legs, as do commuting, socializing, working out. The spoon theory conveys how a chronically ill person must be calculating and strategic about choices most of us never think about, lest they squander their limited energy stores. Okay, well, now it makes sense.
Right, it does. And that's true. I mean, people who don't have mental illnesses or who don't have chronic medical conditions, sure, they do have more energy than most. So, I mean, I think people who do have issues, medically or mental health issues, they do deserve respect in that manner, because sure, they
I mean, if you're struggling with Lyme disease or you've got cancer, you only have so much energy to do so much during the day. So I mean, people
expect so much from them.
No, but unfortunately, what's happening now is that people who were sick who are no longer sick want to maintain that community, right? So they're maybe engaging in a form of hypochondria, you might say. And then there are people who are not sick, who have not been sick, who want to be a part of that culture and they want to fit into that culture. So they're faking these symptoms and these illnesses. And that to me that's a real issue.
Well, my mom and I were just talking about it at dinner last night. A lot of people say they have headaches, migraines. I notice a lot of people, especially the sad fishers out there, you know, who post online, oh my gosh, have a horrible migraine right now. And then everybody else who has migraines, they all write also, oh yes, I struggle with migraines. And you use migraines to get out of work, to get out of social engagements. Like it's the perfect excuse because nobody can prove that you have a migraine or you don't.
If you're just tuning in to the Wake Up America show, I'm Austin Peterson. Welcome to here and happy Friday. Glad to have you on the show.
Yay.
Appreciate you all being here. If you're asking who is that lovely lady that you're watching, that is my beautiful wife. So hands off. My lovely wife.
The rooster.
Yes, Stephanie Peterson is joining me here. Let's give her a round of applause. We're grateful to have her. We appreciate you all very much. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you're watching the show over on YouTube or on Rumble, which we see we do have a great audience over on Rumble as well, make sure you click like or give us a rumble underneath the chat. We appreciate all of our friends joining us over there because it's really been growing over on Rumble. We appreciate him.
I know, you've been on the front page.
Yeah, they've been putting us on the front page. I think we're not on the front page today, maybe not yet, but I see that our friend Hammerlager is joining us over there as well, and Russ56 ICT, who says, give those spoonies a Russian shovel upside the head. Hilarious. Hit the laugh track. Good to see you, Russ. Appreciate you joining us over there on Rumble. You can always text this show, by the way, at 573-319-1586. That's 573-319-1586. You can text the show and you can send us a message there. We'd love to hear from you. And of course, if you send us a comment or a super chat over on YouTube, you will help to grow the show. It's time for me to talk about our friends over at Lear Capital because
Oops.
boom, now we're here.
Oh, so what have we talked about so far? What was the last thing you all heard?
We talked about a lot of things, but nobody heard a damn word that we said because, you know, every time we switch to a new scene, it's dropping the audio, but here we are.
It's Deaf Awareness Day.
Today is Deaf Awareness Day.
That is what it's like to be deaf.
Thank you, Stephanie. Yeah. Here we are. So let me just repeat what I said, and I'll be very brief. In these trying financial times, there's a flight to safety. Our friend BX Bullet contacted me the other day. She's like, do you have the phone number for those gold and silver people? After the collapse of the banks.
That's right.
Right. And so if you're concerned at all about the future, and you have every reason to be, then I would say it's a good time to call our friends over at Lear Capital at 1-800-885-2175. That's 1-800-885-2175. Now, if I have audio issues with my show, what do you think Justin's going to do?
Oh, God.
Poor brother.
He's just going to start crying on the screen.
He will. He's going to start crying. See, me, I just kind of like keep going, you know, because
a lot of support around you.
Yeah,
here for you.
The show must go on. But Justin in Boston, if something happens,
you see the screen just go blank.
If I feel an earthquake all the way in Japan, it's probably not the Great Pacific Fault or the Marianas Trench or rumbling. It's probably my brother shouting from the heavens, "Oh no!"
It would make a really funny blooper video on like Fail Army.
My brother would probably do the whole hour-long show and not even know that the audio wasn't working. So
it'd be really funny.
Yeah. For sure, for sure. Anyways, thanks so much for tuning into the Wake Up America show. We'll be right back, and we're going to talk about something else, which would be 10 common habits that are secretly sabotaging your success. If you want to be more successful, we'll be back with more on the Wake Up America show at wakeupAmericaShow.com.
Good morning to the Cantina crew. This is Elon Musk, the CEO of Twitter. And I just want to say thank you for watching the Wake Up America show. I've decided that Austin Peterson will be the new CEO of Twitter.com, effective immediately. First thing to do, though, is I've got to go and blast off into space.
If there wasn't going to be somebody who was a fiery champion of liberty, somebody who would get out there and who would be aggressive, and if they wouldn't do it with more fire or passion than I had, then I would go and I would fight this battle for us. I've fought for the principles that we all share. Parties tend to be secondary to me. We're here because we believe in the principles of liberty. I am not a perfect messenger, but I think I'm a damn good one. This is a replica of our first president's flintlock pistol. You have my full support, my respect, and my gun.
I think that the heart of my philosophy is much more libertarianism than well, that's the fashionable word these days, I guess. A conservative is no longer just that. He's a libertarian and always has been.
Yet any time you and I question the schemes of the do-gooders, we're denounced as being against their humanitarian goals. They say we're always against things, we're never for anything.
What is fascism? Fascism is private ownership, private enterprise, but total government control and regulation.
Well, the trouble with our liberal friends is not that they're ignorant. It's just that they know so much that isn't so. If we lose freedom here, there's no place to escape to. This is the last stand on earth. This is the issue of this election. Whether we believe in our capacity for self-government or whether we abandon the American Revolution and confess that a little intellectual elite in a far distant capital can plan our lives for us better than we can plan them ourselves.
The conservative, so-called, is the one that says less government. Get off my back. Get out out of my pocket and let me have more control of my own destiny.
What would happen if I had to pick up the phone, call 911 for one of my family members or one of my neighbors? What would I do if no one was on the other end to respond? What if there was no 911? So you can be a part of the solution.
Anybody can be a firefighter. Male, female, younger, older.
We have school teachers. We have leaders in business.
Is me, you, anyone that wants to be.
There is no typical firefighter.
Do you hate the deep state? Do you reject the Antichrist in all his ways? Do you believe that aliens controlled LBJ to assassinate John F. Kennedy? Did you know that the shot can put chemicals in you that will make you more sensitive to 5G? Do you love America? Do you want more freedom? Do you like smoking hot red-headed libertarians? Then the AP for Liberty shop is for you! Check out all the awesome new merch and have a happy new year! Fight the deep state, reject the Antichrist! Visit AP for Liberty shop and get your patriotic merchandise now, or the deep state wins!
Can you hear me now? Good morning. Wake up, America. I'm Austin Peterson. It's time to rise in freedom. Joining us in studio for a lovely St. Patrick's Day, we say thank you to the lovely Stephanie Peterson. Nice to see you, Stephanie. How you doing?
I knew sign language because I could be like your sign language interpreter so that like people could still...
That would be great.
What's happening?
My favorite stories recently, have you been seeing these where they'll like be fake sign language people? Where they'll like pretend that they're sign language interpreters to get the job, and then they go out there and they find out later that they were just like going like this and doing all this crap. Have you seen that? Storms? Yes.
The Gabriel Iglesias show, he's the comedian. They had a sign language interpreter for people who couldn't hear. Mm-hmm. And he kept playing with them because he'd be saying words like he kept saying like burrito, and burrito is like this or something, and he kept saying burrito, burrito. And like we're just like making really weird.
It's happened
gestures.
again.
Okay, yes. I found it. I found the video. Of the fake sign language interpreter. Hold on.
Like a governmental speech or something.
Yeah. So it was like it was a Tampa police spokesperson from the fake sign language interpreter. Hold on. Let me go to the scene over here. I'll pull it up so people can hear it. Hopefully you can hear it. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? All right, let's continue. Let's play this clip. Take a listen.
It's happened again. Another sign language interpreter accused of signing total gibberish. This time it was at the police news conference announcing an arrest in the Tampa serial killings.
We will be charging 4 counts of first-degree murder.
Standing off to the side, apparently translating every word, this woman.
We received over 5,000 tips in this case.
But it turns out much of what she was signing was nonsense.
Oh,
she waved her arms around like she was
God.
singing Jingle Bells, says one outraged sign language expert. The woman, identified as Derlin Roberts, has a string of arrests for fraud. So how did she come to be translating
a
at last
string of arrests for fraud. Okay, let me get this right. So the Tampa police hired her, and she had been arrested multiple times for fraud. You'd think that they might recognize her.
Sometimes they use criminals to work for the police department because they can be helpful. Maybe that's like one of
like for the Frank Abagnale from like Catch Me If You Can, Leonardo DiCaprio.
So maybe
Tom
she's like
Hanks
a criminal, and they're like, okay, you can help us with sign language.
Well, what cracks me up is that they said it happened again. So apparently this has happened before. Fake. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it.
Oh,
fake sign language let's see. So there was one. Oh yeah, it was Nelson Mandela sign language.
Oh my gosh.
At his memorial.
Oh no.
Oh my God, here we go. Hold on. This is the New York Times. There he is.
God of the spirits of all flesh, in whose hands are the souls of the living and the dead, receive, we beseech you, in your great loving kindness.
Maybe it was a different type of sign language. I mean, maybe it was still like
This is not sign language.
Because an accent, Southern, Canadian.
He's speaking in pidgin. Pigeon sign language. Do you know what pigeon is?
No.
Oh my God, pigeon language is very funny. All right, pigeon language is like when you say pigeon language. Let me see if I can find an audio example of it.
Pigeons speak?
Like. No, have you ever heard of pigeon language, Nathan? You guys never heard of pigeon language? Hold on, let me see if I can find it. I'm gonna find like pigeon
learning something new today.
Pigeon language examples. Hold on. So if you've ever heard somebody say, it's like generally consists of small vocabularies, but some have grown to become a group's native language. What are some examples of pigeon English? Hold on, let me find an example.
Like I want food.
Yes.
Food, yummy.
It's basically like dumbing down pigeon. Yeah, here we go. I found
some language.
Pigeon examples. Hold on. I'm gonna go back to our regular scheduled scene. Pigeon language. I don't know how we got on this tangent, but it is funny.
It's of deaf awareness.
It's a grammatically simplified means of communication that develops between two or more groups of people that do not have a language in common. So here are some examples of it's mostly Nigerian. So here's a pigeon. So how are you doing? Right? Would be how you day.
Oh my.
Or you can also say how na.
What?
Or how far, buddy.
Sounds like some African language.
And it's Nigerian, right? So that's where pigeon came from, I believe. But you can respond by saying I day, which means I'm fine, or I day kampe, I'm doing well.
Oh dear.
If you're too much, like, oh, you're being too funny, be like, you say you too much, right?
Okay, I get that.
Too much.
You too much. I get that.
Right.
We should say that more to people. Yeah.
I want chop or I day he h.
Uh-huh.
Right.
What?
To show that you're extremely hungry, you can say, hunger they tear my bell.
Why?
Hunger one kill me.
Oh.
Right.
I'm dying of hunger, literally.
Right. When you say you don't chop up, that means you are prospering or you've put on some weight.
Oh,
you don't chop up.
Right? Talk about body positivity.
So it's like you don't chop up your food. You eat it so fast that you're fat, right? So you don't chop up.
How offensive.
That's well, it's pigeon English, right? So to say this meal is delicious in pigeon, you say, "This food sweet well."
Wow, I really like the sound of this.
Yes, that phrase means this food is delicious. You can also say, "This food sweet no be small."
Oh.
This is pigeon English. This is the real thing. They have it in like lots of different words as well. Just type in Jamaican. Said no, it's not Jamaican. K-leg. So the situation, if you say K-leg, you sure of this tin way you they talk so? This matter get K-leg. Means, are you sure what you're saying? This doesn't seem to be true.
Oh.
You sure of this way?
Some of the things I can understand. Some stuff, it's like, what in the world is he saying? Other things, I totally get it.
So if you're expressing any like credulity or incredulity, right? If you're talking about like an incredible scenario that's unbelievable, it be like film.
Like film, like movies.
Yes, exactly. For instance, a person
so advanced in their world.
Exactly. So if a person reporting an accident that happened really fast, you'd say, "The way the car tumbled, it be like film." Meaning the way the car tumbled was just like in the movies, or incredible.
If you teach a man to fish, teach a... Remember that on YouTube?
There's some like Nigerian guy, he's like, teach a man to fish. And he goes...
He forgets the rest of the quote he's trying to say.
Yeah, he goes, teach a man to fish.
And then he gets really quiet. Yes. He's so embarrassed.
Yes, exactly. Pigeon English.
Like
Abi means right or isn't it?
Oh.
Right. So, for example, if you're
language this is based off of, because some of these words are not English.
It's English. It's called Pigeon English.
Sounds like Latin or something.
Yeah, this is Pigeon English.
Yeah.
So if you're shopping for lemons, you might say, "This bag na lemon greeny be, Abi." I mean, the shade of green on this bag is lemon green, right? Na so? This means it is so, or I concur. Is that so?
Oh, not
no be so. No be so means it is not so.
Oh my.
No be so.
Ooh.
I no agree means I disagree.
It'd be easier to learn that language than Japanese. We'll just say that.
Yeah. Nothing spoil means all
food?
Means all is well.
Oh.
Nothing spoil means all is well. Yes.
Jeez.
Exactly. A beg. This means please. A beg come chop food, which is an invitation to a meal. You want to have dinner means,
But yet, if you don't chop your food, then you're fat.
A beg come chop food. A.L. Wild must have just tuned in. He's like, are they stoned this morning?
No. I mean, it's St. Patrick's Day, guys.
No, we're just...
My mom and I, we were going to get our nails done yesterday morning, and we were about to walk into the Guinness bar. we had no idea where we were.
That's funny.
Yeah.
The pidgin language is a simplified speech used for communication between people with different languages. We just gave him some examples of pidgin English. Yeah. He be trying to get demonetized, Mon, says Chris Morrill. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah. I understand that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Money talks.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. All right. Bailey's for breakfast, says Joni Rankin. Yes, exactly. We've been having a little fun. See, sometimes it's more fun when we just get off the topic and move on.
Absolutely. You just got to roll with it, you know?
Happy St. Patrick's Day. Somebody texted in and said, day off work beer, had at 7 a.m. listening to the show, as asking, why is it liberals are now pro-war? I think we need to stop all proxy wars no matter who's in charge. Amen, brother. Amen.
That's right.
Had the day off work. Nice to see you. Yeah. Nothing like
the day off work for St. Patrick's Day?
Sometimes, just maybe not for St. Patrick's Day, but yeah. Gotta have an Irish breakfast then. Yes, it is. Pidgin English. I think it's time for us to move on. All right. Top 10 common habits that are secretly sabotaging your success. Not staying on topic during your morning talk show. How's that?
Number one is focus.
Number one is focus.
It's really funny.
Oh, God. It is. Number one on the list is lack of focus.
There you go.
Oh, God.
Have to be focused.
I need that Price is Right sad trombone. So, epic fail. If you're just tuning into the Wake Up America show, I'm Austin Peterson, and I'm joined here on Family Friday by my lovely wife, Stephanie P.
Hello, and the rooster.
Yep, and our lovely Reginald the Rooster, the Wake Up America show mascot. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you're just tuning in, do us a favor. Would you mind, while you're here, sit down, make yourself comfortable, grab some popcorn and a delicious Irish beer that's dyed green, and hit like on the likes to get us out there on the stream. If you're watching us over on Rumble, which quite a few of you have been in the last week, let's give a big shout out to our Rumble crew. Oh. Yes. We'd love it if you join us over there and click like on the stream over there to help us to grow the show as well. We'd love to see a future for Rumble on the platform of Rumble, and we think it'll be great. Somebody is over there at apforlibertyshop.com. We might be successful in just a moment.
Really?
They're checking out, and we've got one active cart, so we might make a sale over at apforlibertyshop.com.
Might be buying a green shirt today.
For sure. Have you seen how many killdozers we've been selling this week?
I have seen, because I'm the one gluing them and packaging them. Yes.
I'm the one printing them and putting them together. FYI, it is a team effort here.
It certainly is.
Hit that laughter track. Yeah, for some reason, everybody wants the killdozer all of a sudden.
I know.
You know what's funny is that in terms of like Google search terms, like I've been working on our SEO strategy, which is very boring, but the number one search that brings people to AP for Liberty Shop is killdozer model.
That's amazing.
I don't know what it is, because the word got out that I guess everybody who got the first batch of killdozers is now spreading the word of mouth. And they're like, where did you get this killdozer? I got it at apforlibertyshop.com.
Because you really can't find it anywhere else. Yeah. I don't think anybody else sells the exact model.
There's
that
like
we sell.
a few places, but they're not as cool as us.
Yeah.
Right. And here's the deal. If you want a killdozer, we're going to be in Japan. We're not going to be able to make them, right? So we're going to try and make a few extras for people who want them. But at some point, we're just going to run out because they take forever to make. But if you're a member of the email list already, you're going to get a 10% discount on the killdozer, FYI. So Nathan's working on the email right now.
Yes.
So we're going to send we're going to send it out today, just as a little you're welcome, thank you, whatever you want to call it, to all of our subscribers. And not only are you getting that 10% discount, but what else are we doing with our email list, Stephanie?
You can win a gun.
Yeah, we're giving away an AK-47. Oh, yeah.
My gosh. You should have seen Austin demonstrating to my mom how to use an AK-47 in the living room the other day.
She was looking the way she was looking at me like this, like, you know, she was.
We always dodge it. We're like, oh gosh, if we hit the gun, is it going to shoot?
First of all, just so you know, Austin always practices proper gun safety.
He does, but it's just like being in the presence of a gun. We're just like.
Yeah, no, Stephanie's only like that around her mom. But believe me, whenever she's alone, she's a badass with a rifle, because I've taught her everything that she knows about defending herself with guns and hand to hand.
I'm just overly cautious.
Of course. So we are going to give away an AK pattern rifle in 9mm. So if you're interested in getting a free rifle, I'm going to give one away to Thumb My Nose at the Biden administration who would like to ban those kinds of guns. So if you'd like a chance to win a free gun, head over to apforlibertyshop.com, give us your email address, and you'll be automatically entered to win. Of course, if you've already made a purchase from AP for Liberty Shop, you're already entered to win. So,
and if you make a future purchase between now and when the contest is.
Exactly, which we haven't decided when we're going to give it away just yet, but I think probably the end of next month, definitely when we get back from Japan.
Okay.
So you've got a little bit of time if you're thinking about making a purchase. If you want a Killdozer, you're going to get a 10% off coupon today if you're already subscribed to the email list, but there's never been a better time to sign up for our emails because not only would you going to get that 10% discount, but you also get entered to win the AK-47. So provided that it's legal in whatever state you live in, if you're in California, obviously they're not going to let you have it.
Legal there?
In order to own the type of AK that we're giving away, you would have to modify it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And I think this is the same in New York. Right. And I think you can't have them in Illinois right now. I mean, there's legal challenges to all that and it might get overturned, but you have to be able to legally receive the rifle, unfortunately, because I don't want to go to jail because I got a lot of stuff to do in my life. But even though I don't agree with the laws, I have to obey them. All right. So head to apforlibertyshop.com and get signed up. Okay, Stephanie, let's talk about things. Speaking of focus. Number one, lack of focus. This is really the number one thing that a lot of us struggle with, especially in an age of distractions and smartphones, right? But that's the impact that digital media has on our lives.
Oh, I have so many clients that come to me and they're like, I think I have ADHD. And I'm like, you know what? I think we all have some sort of ADHD right now because with phones and notifications and multitasking, I mean, everything's all over the place all at once.
And here's the thing, and everybody's like self-diagnosing and stuff like that. Maybe they have it, maybe they don't. But I mean, you should really go to a doctor and find out if you actually have it.
Absolutely.
Right? But in terms of like being distracted, I understand why people are distracted. There's a lot to be distracted by, and never been so many opportunities to not do your work, right? But
That's right.
So the problem is that once we allow ourselves to be distracted, then it takes a long time to refocus.
Yeah.
So these are the things that are sabotaging your success, your lack of focus. If you can find a way to buckle down and be focused, great. See, what my problem is that rather than sort of condense my work into a time where I'm being focused, I allow myself to get unfocused and then I just never stop working. I'm just like all day long. I'll take like a nap and then maybe go for a brief little walk. But other than that,
so you take breaks.
Yeah, I take little breaks.
Which is very good. That's actually what we would suggest.
I should take more breaks, but I don't.
Break your tasks up into little bits so it doesn't seem so overwhelming and reward yourself. We're just kids in adult bodies.
It's true.
And so if we have rewards or a fun activity to do after we get something done, that'll help you stay focused. And you got to practice focusing. Meditation helps. Like try to meditate for just like a minute a day. Just focus on your breathing or focus on counting or on a mantra in your head. Like I am worthy. See if you can just focus for a minute and then extend it.
Number two thing that is sabotaging your success, and this one kind of irks me, multitasking. Right. So speaking of focusing, right, a lot of people pride themselves on being able to juggle all tasks at once, but this says it's actually counterproductive. Research shows multitasking actually decreases your performance. It makes you less efficient because your brain can really only focus on one thing at a time. And they say it even lowers your IQ. If you try to force your brain to work on several things simultaneously, a lot of things can happen. You'll be
Maybe it kills brain cells.
I don't know. It says your comprehension will be reduced, right? So you won't understand what you're saying. You can get mental blocks that will slow you down, and you'll end up making more mistakes.
What happened yesterday? I was helping to cut some clips for your show, and I was multitasking, talking to mom, talking to you, watching TV, and I completely messed up clipping the clips, and so I had to restart all over again, and so I was not efficient.
Yeah, it lets you think that that this is some kind of massive media operation back there. Poor little sweet Steffi sitting in the easy chair yesterday, cutting my audio clips of the podcast so you can hear the audio podcast. So if you are downloading the audio podcast after the fact, then we can always say thank you to our lovely Stephanie. Let's give her a nice little applause.
And if there's some weird commercial included in the wrong spot, it's because I was multitasking.
Here's the thing. The third one on this list, we're talking about habits that are sabotaging your success. The third thing on this list, I feel like I've gotten better at, but it's because of AI, procrastination. So I was really bad with procrastination. But now that I can have AI do a lot of the tasks that I hated and that were boring, that were mundane, I don't procrastinate anymore.
Yeah.
And also I hired somebody to do the shit I don't want to do. So I'm not procrastinating on doing the content calendar anymore. I got Nathan to do that over there. Procrastination, my longtime nemesis, right? So, cramming. Now, you know me. I love to wait till the last minute.
You really do. I remind you every single day about certain things. Hey, one reminder a day. Do this, do this,
Austin,
do this.
You need to print that killdozer part. You need to get that out so we can get that in the mail.
I know, I'm a broken record. And it doesn't help. You just got to let the boy procrastinate.
But do I ever get mad at you for reminding me? Like, I always just say one reminder a day.
One a day. If I go 2 or more. No.
If you remind me 2 or 3 times a day, then I get upset. But I just need one reminder a day and then it'll be fine. But procrastination. We all do it. That's something that's sabotaging your success. So
I mean, some people are really good when they procrastinate because they focus real hard at the last minute when their back is up against the wall and they produce some really good work. I mean, I had a friend, Lisa, actually, in high school, and she procrastinated a lot and she was so smart.
Really?
Oh, yes. Genius.
I'm a super procrastinator. I do kind of like the pressure that I feel whenever it's the last minute. I feel kind of like makes me better in a way, but maybe I'm just sort of that's a coping mechanism for me to say right there. I have not yet begun to procrastinate, says Ale Wild. Very funny, Ale.
I haven't begun to procrastinate.
I have not yet begun to procrastinate. Very good. I get the laugh track. I hit the laugh track.
Procrastinate on procrastinating.
And here it is. This is another one. Lack of planning, right? So planning goes a long way. If you don't have a clear plan, a roadmap for achieving your goals, it's easy to get lost or feel overwhelmed.
I am such a planner.
You are a planner.
I write everything down. I have a paper planner that I live by.
Yeah.
I hate online calendars.
I'm much more of a ready, fire, aim kind of a person. You know what I mean?
You're very spontaneous.
Yes, spontaneity is my jam. But that's why we kind of like we mesh very well together, because I bring the spontaneity to the relationship.
Get me out of my head.
Yeah, get you thinking creatively outside of the box, and then you're like, Austin, I need you to get this killdozer part for me right now.
Right.
And you need to have it by this date or whatever. And then you're the one who pressured us to get like the plan for Japan and like, certain travel things like that.
Yes. Like every week we worked on planning something different. Okay, let's go city by city.
But we did not do the whole planned trip through a travel agent.
Right. Again, too much of anything is bad. So too much planning. Actually, when we watch YouTube videos, they say don't plan trips too much.
Yeah, you can overplan.
That takes away the fun.
Because the last thing that I want to do is have to be rushing to go get on a tour bus so that I can keep up with somebody else's schedule. Like one day we may just want to wander around Tokyo and not feel like we need to go do all this kind of stuff. So lack of planning can harm your success in terms of your career, but over planning on things like vacation or your daily life, I think can be, can turn you into a curmudgeon, if you will. I don't know. I want to break free. I can't wait to see the Queen show tonight, the laser light show in St. Louis. Very exciting. Number 5, lack of sleep. This is actually the one that I'm a stickler on because compared to you, because I like every night am like, it's 8:00. Let's go upstairs. It's bedtime,
2, though, I'm starting to get used to going to sleep early. So when it's past 10 o'clock, I say, hey, we need to go to sleep. I'm going to be tired. But yeah, I used to be a late nighter. I mean, when I was doing campaign stuff for you back in the day, I'd stay up till 1, 2 in the morning, even on work nights, and I'd wake up at 6 something in the morning.
Now that I'm middle-aged, I cannot fool around with not getting enough sleep. So, because we're up here at 4 a.m. in the mornings, we got to get to bed, at least get to bed at 8, if not fall asleep at, by 9,
See, for me, I used to feel more productive late at night. And so I would use those wee hours of the morning to do all of my work and creative stuff. And I still think that's true because it's so quiet very late at night.
For sure. There's like not as many distractions. I get that. However, I really loved like the schedule when I first started getting up at 4 to do the radio. I would get up at 4 and then you're done at noon, right? So I like that. I mean, now that I work for myself, there is no such thing as done. But I will say that kind of generally having put in an 8-hour day by noon, I'd feel pretty great about that. Right. So, I mean, in the afternoon, you can do other tasks that you need to do for your household tasks when other people can't. It's like, When does the pharmacy close? Oh, wait, I'm not getting off work at that time, right? So planning ahead and getting good sleep, right? These kinds of things can put you ahead of the game.
Oh, yeah. Sleep is so important for mental health, especially, too. And any type of thing for your body. I mean, sleep is essential.
Well, that's the next one, lack of self-care, right?
Yes.
So, I think it's obvious that being healthy is important, it's necessary for success, but a lot of people do kind of neglect self-care. They don't go take a walk or a break and get some fresh air. They don't exercise and they don't eat right, which is a problem because if you're not getting like your, 6 cups of fruits and vegetables per day, you're probably falling behind in regards to, your dietary needs, which is why
I think we're going to a green substance for St. Patrick's Day.
It is green, field of greens, if you will. My friends over at Field of Greens have put together a beautiful compound of your 6 cups of fruits and vegetables per day. Who has time to eat healthy? Honestly, a lot of people don't, right? You've got to commute, right? You're sitting there, what are you doing? You're stuffing bear claws in your mouth and you're drinking a coffee and you're getting your blood pressure up and your sugar spiking. And you're like, and then you get home and you crash. Right? You don't have any energy to play with the kids. You don't have energy to go take the dog for a walk. You need more energy. How do you get more energy? We eat healthy food because it's all about the fuel that you put in your body. And Stephanie and I really like what Brickhouse Nutrition has put together in Field of Greens, this real organic superfood, which you can get with a money-back guarantee, because here's the deal.
That's the coolest part, in my opinion.
Because the fact is, you're going to say to yourself, okay, well, yeah, I'm going to use Austin's promo code. I'm going to get 15% off of my first order and then 10% in perpetuity. But you're going to say, oh, well, maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. Well, if you go to your doctor the next time and they don't tell you that your health has improved, guess what? Give them a call back. They'll give you your money back.
It's really cool.
I think so, right? So
you can win no matter what you do.
It's a win-win. You're going to either get healthy or you're going to get your money back. So you really can't lose. If you visit the website fieldofgreens.com, use the code AP for Liberty. This powder, you're going to open it up and smell it. I'm going to be honest, you're going to be like, smells like grass.
So I need to ask them.
But the flavor, delicious.
I need to ask that company if you can bake with that powder. I wonder if you can bake food with it.
You probably can, but it's...
You can put fruits and veggies in like your muffins and stuff.
For sure.
I think I need to go ask
them. Right, but put it in your smoothie.
Yeah.
The best thing that we recommend is just ice cold water.
Yeah,
shake it up really good, and then it tastes good. Wild berry is my favorite. I think Matt Unruh got some the other day, and he
was talking about it.
Yeah, he used the coupon code. Yeah. Let me know if you've actually got some yet through our friends at fieldofgreens.com. Use that code AP for Liberty. Drop in the chat. Let us know if you've gotten some or if you're thinking about getting some. I would be really curious. But if you're looking at getting healthy, self-care, that's a great way to do it. Visit our sponsor at fieldofgreens.com. Use the code AP for Liberty. All right. We're talking about things that sabotage your success. If you're just tuning in to the Wake Up America show, I'm Austin Peterson. My lovely wife, Stephanie, is joining me now. Steffi P.
Hello.
Hello. Lack of self-care. Another thing that was listed here was like the negative self-talk. You're big on that. You're big on that.
Big on negative self-talk. Yeah. And we have these voices going in our head at all times. And sometimes you have to say to yourself, whose voice is that? Is that really my voice? Or is that possibly a voice from my past, from a past relationship or family member? And we have to really just think about, what is this talk telling us to do? If it's something really negative and it's saying, you're not capable, you're not good enough, how is that helping you?
I know you're not supposed to do it, but I do it a lot. And I don't know why, but it's worked for me. But don't take me as an example.
Thing, maybe.
I don't know.
Like through pain, you have success?
It's like it's S&M, right? So it's sadism and masochism because you enjoy the pain. But maybe that's what it's more masochistic, I think, than sadistic. I'm not entirely sure.
Right. Yeah, because you enjoy hurting yourself, I guess.
Oh, nice. Andy Opperman, he got his Field of Greens yesterday. He says this morning was his first serving. Andy, hey,
that's so cool.
Keep it up, Andy, because we can get healthy together.
Let us know how it makes you feel.
Let us know if you're feeling better after a couple of months of trying it every day. You stick to it because you're going to get your 6 cups of fruits and vegetables every day. 1 cup of it, boom, and you're done. And it's like, hey, great, I've got my my vitamins and minerals.
I sip mine throughout the day. I'm a sipper.
I'm just a chug it
because it tastes good to me. So I'm like, a flavored yummy drink.
My thing is it even if it does taste good, which I like, if I know something's healthy, then if I slowly sip it, it, then I'll just like put it aside. I won't drink it. But if I just chug it, then it's done. And it's like, all right, great. I've done my healthy thing for the day, right? But also going for a walk. Negative self-talk, I call myself an idiot all the time, right? If I do something wrong, I'm like, I'm like, God, you moron, you stupid idiot. Or if like for example, when I start gaining a little weight, which I have been lately.
What's that in your head, Austin?
You're so fussy. Why are you so fat? Why are you so fat?
Who you fat in the past?
Her name was Emily, and I can't remember her last name. But she was right, and I needed to lose weight, and I had to go to the gym, and I needed to eat healthier. And honestly, I needed a little bit of fat shaming. Can I get an amen?
I'm actually all about neutral self-talk, because positive self-talk can be a little bit cheesy for some people, because they're like, okay, I don't believe that I'm like the best person ever in the world.
Yeah.
So I'd say if you feel fat, say to yourself, you know, I'm human, I have a body, and it serves all of these purposes for me to live.
Yeah.
And I'm not at the weight that I want to be, but there are things that I can do.
Yeah.
Here are the things. Let's be realistic.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of fat shaming, but I don't fat shame other people. I just fat shame myself. Okay. So that's how I am. Negative self-talk. I don't recommend it, but it always worked for me. Number 8, this is a big one for me. And especially when it comes to writing, the fear of failure.
Yeah.
This is a big one. Yeah. The fear of failure is one that will cause you to hold back, right? Writer's block, big one, right? How do you break free from fear of failure, Stephanie? If you're too afraid to try, you may not even try. And then if you don't try, how can you be successful?
Exactly. I say desensitize yourself. Don't look at the end goal. Like, I have to write a book, right? Look at the process. Just focus on, let's say, so it is writing a book. Let's say that's the fear. Focus on, let me just write. Let me just creatively write. Let me just enjoy practicing, enjoy learning, have fun with it. Or I say to people who are afraid of sleep, some people are afraid to go to sleep because they're like, I'm going to have insomnia. I can't sleep. I say, focus on just relaxing and just chilling out. Don't focus on the sleep, focus on the process to get you more rested.
How to break free. This one requires a lot of self-awareness. So number 9 on this list here in terms of habits that are sabotaging your success is perfectionism.
Oh yeah, I'm a perfectionist.
Yeah, you are for sure.
Very much so, and that is my demon.
I don't struggle with that because I realize when you have so much to do, you realize it's never going to be a masterpiece, right?
No.
There are some things in your life, like your magnum opus, your one big, great contribution to society that should be perfect, right? But for the most part, most of the things that you do on a daily task, you just got to keep the plate spinning, right? You don't have to, perform like you're in a circus. You just have to keep that plate spinning. So, it's good to aim high, and I believe in that, but it's kind of like what Camelia and I were talking about yesterday, this zero tolerance policy. Like we're striving, we want 0 motor accident fatalities a year.
Right. How about more like 5%?
Yeah,
right?
yeah. How about, yeah, exactly.
Be 0 or 100. That's
Yeah,
impossible.
exactly. Let's shrink it by 5%.
Yeah.
And offer yourself a realistic goal, and then, won't have to worry. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be better than it was last time, I feel like
that for self-talk. Yeah, because some people say, I have to be perfect. I have to be perfect. No, just say to yourself, it's okay if it's good enough. It's okay if it's got 5% of errors.
Yeah.
Allow yourself that. Give yourself permission. You're human.
For sure.
Even robots make mistakes, okay?
Tolly Owens chimed in and says she's got to run early today. Happy Friday. Have a great weekend. Bye, Tolly. Sad to say goodbye. We miss you. Aww.
She's such a sweet woman.
We love Tolly Owens for sure. Tolly Owens, major props to you. We appreciate it. Have a great weekend, Tolly. We'll see you on Monday. We still got one more week of shows to go before we leave. So, comparison-itis. This is one that I do struggle with. My brother and I talked about this one because when we were on the cruise earlier last year, remember we were playing that game before we got off the boat?
Yes.
And we were asked, the question was, who is a person that you are jealous of?
Yes.
And do you
I
remember?
think you answered.
No, I did.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, my answer was everyone.
Oh, everyone. Okay.
My answer was, who are you jealous of? My answer was, I'm jealous of absolutely everyone.
Yeah.
Because, you're always comparing yourself to other people, right?
Did you say that quote as comparison is the something of...
Oh, my brother said that. Comparison is the thief of joy.
That's right.
Right? If you could be happy as a clam, but if you compare yourself to someone else, all of a sudden it steals your joy.
Yeah, I think comparison is natural. We're always going to compare ourselves to others. But I think instead of feeling that jealousy, channel that into inspiration.
Well, I do because, it makes me work harder, right? So I see somebody else who's doing something great that I wish that I could do, right? Like I want to be, the next Joe Rogan, right? Or I want to have there are other libertarian like shops and merchandise stores and stuff like that are like ranked way above us and on Google and who probably make way more money than we do and stuff, right? I saw this guy who runs a libertarian merchandise shop who's saying this year he wants to do $1 million in business. And I'm like, I'd like to do $1 million in business. I don't think we're going to do that this year, but I would like to try, right?
Maybe be a perfectionist goal.
Yeah, that would be a perfectionist goal. However, I just want to do better than, and Nathan and I talk about this a lot. It's like, what do we have right now? Where do we want to be? And I have what I believe is a realistic goal. It's a lofty goal, but it's not perfect, but it's better than where we're at right now, right? So I want to do 3 times better with the shop than we're doing right now. So comparing myself to other shops and things like that, I think doesn't make a lot of sense because the shop hasn't been around that long.
Right.
One,
there are so many different factors involved.
and we're just very different. Right. Like my shop really reflects my personality and what I believe. And like other libertarian shops are more like just kind of like either hardcore anarchist, perhaps, or they're like more conservative, just pro-Trump pages and things like that. Whereas like my page runs the gamut from I'm cool with anarchists, libertarians and Trump people, like conservatives. So it's kind of like that's a big tent of people right there, but it's a different, it's different.
That's right. And I like how you're saying different. I think that's how you get away from the jealousy as well, is instead of comparing yourself and being like, oh, they're better than me or I'm better than them, say, they're different than me in this way. And I admire that. That's awesome.
For sure.
Yay for differences.
Right. And I can still like feel a little bit of jealousy from time to time, but I just
jealousy is normal, natural. We can't
jealousy
get rid of that.
Happens like you can't control that, right?
No.
You can't control how you feel. Right. So the response to that is the question of gratitude, which I think really is the ultimate answer to this. I'm thankful for all we have, Stephanie.
Oh, absolutely.
We
Practicing
have got it
3
good.
gratitude things a day.
Yes, we, in terms of comparison, if you think about like what we have compared to like what a lot of our peers have, we are lucky.
Absolutely.
Not just lucky, but I mean, we're also we've worked hard to earn what we have. But I mean, there are a lot of people who look at us and probably say, I wish I had what Austin and Steffi had. I mean, there are people who are jealous of our relationship. Right. And I wish that they had love.
Who copied your t-shirt design, and he's probably jealous.
Justin O'Donnell's major jelly. Yes, for sure.
How dare you?
How dare you? That was funny the other day. Yes. So yeah,
people go to great lengths
do your best
to become like the people they're jealous of.
Yeah, do your best and let it rest, says Elizabeth Press. I love how that rhymed. Thank you. Robbie Thurman and Chris Morrill both had the good joke. That's $1 million worth of sales. That's a lot of killdozers. Yes, it would be a lot of killdozers. Yeah, we got to get Nathan up to speed on how to run the 3D printers because right now we've only got 2 functional printers out of 8.
Start printing some other designs.
Yeah, we'd love to hear your ideas about what kind of 3D printed items you'd like to see.
Like you printed me a Thomas Jefferson bust that I keep on my therapy desk, and I really like it. So I don't know if other people might like it.
Yeah, would you buy a Thomas Jefferson bust from us? We're thinking about, other than just the Buddhas, right, which we want to do. I think that's good for us because it makes us different.
We made my mom a dog.
Yeah, we made her a really beautiful German Shepherd dog. It was like a multicolored one.
Yeah.
I made that one special for her, though, so nobody else is going to get one like that. But we are very grateful, Stephanie and I, for the community of people that we have around us, because as our business and fortunes have grown, we know that we stand on the shoulders of people like Andy Opperman and Chris Morrill and Camellia Peterson and Tolly Owens and Pam Ames and Adam Hoshiko and Robbie Thurman and Elizabeth Press, because these are our donors. These are people who are purchasing from our store. These are people who are watching the show, clicking like, Matt Unruh, giving us super chats and things like that.
Absolutely.
So we just want you all to know how grateful we are for you, because I recognize fully that without you, there is no Wake Up America show. And to be frank, Austin and Steffi, we'd be doing something very different than what we do right now if it wasn't for the audience and support of the people that we get. And it's funny because usually we know podcasters, they look at success and it's like you have millions of followers and all these fans and all this kind of stuff. But what we kind of prove is that you really don't have to have 1 million followers.
It's quality over quantity, honestly.
Yeah. It's quality over quantity, right? The people, the quality of the people that we have that are part of our community are so strong and powerful that it's the judge tells me all the time how jealous he is of our little ecosystem.
People.
Yeah, even though he gets he'll get 500,000 views.
Right, he's got a lot of views.
He's got a lot of viewers, but he doesn't have the kind of community that we have, which is what makes us different.
We were talking about that recently, about how I was noticing some more haters in the chat, on the YouTube chat. And how we've kind of been pushing those people away, because honestly, sure, more viewers, that's great, but we don't want a negative, toxic community. That's not what we're reaching for here.
Exactly. And I'm willing to make a little bit less money and, have a little bit smaller audience if that means that the quality of the people that we have here are thriving. Because
that's what's unique about us.
That's true. And I think that actually is going to work better in the long term. Because back in the early days when I first started campaigning, I would just try and get as many people as you can, and you could be as toxic as you wanted, just as long as you were part of our group. And I think it actually was destructive.
Those people hurt us.
They hurt you. Yes, they will hurt you, or in the end, because they'll do things to mess with your business. They'll do things to
backstab you along the way.
Yeah, and they'll alienate the people who do care about you and make them not want to be around.
Yeah, they drive other people away.
They drive other people away.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. So we've got a good thing here. We've got a good group of people, and we just want, Steffi and I want you to know, let's give a big shout out to the Cantina crew. We are grateful for you.
Cantina Crew Appreciation Day. We need to have a holiday for that.
Absolutely. We're very lucky and thankful to have you. So thank you for being a part of it. All of our friends out there who's supporting us, who's supporting our sponsors and watching the show, because, even if you're, never bought from AP for Liberty Shop, or, you don't, buy gold or, Field of Greens or what have you, just watching the show and being here, even if you're a lurker, which we know there's got to be a lot of them, because there's way more viewers than there are commenters.
Yeah, sometimes we'll meet people in Jefferson City even, and they'll be like, "Oh, I watch your show all the time," and we're like, "We never see your name or see your comments."
No idea who they are. They're like Austin Peterson, that.
They know you very well, and they know me very well. I learned the lieutenant governor follows me. I had no idea about that.
I was cracking up. The lieutenant governor of the state of Missouri follows my wife on Twitter. He doesn't even follow me. Okay, he follows Stephanie.
I love following your page. And I'm like, I didn't even follow him.
You didn't even know who he was. So my wife is more famous than the lieutenant governor of Missouri. Can we?
Sorry. Yeah. Boy.
Who can actually name the lieutenant governor of Missouri? That would be hilarious. So
lieutenant governor of Michigan. Yeah. I was never in.
You don't want to know her. She's pretty toxic, to be quite honest.
I know Whitmer, but I don't know anybody else.
Yeah, you don't want to know her. She's making headlines these days for being toxic as hell. Okay. All right, so we're moving on. How to break free with those. Those were the 10 common habits that make people want to that make people fail. All right,
to break free.
I've got another thing here though. 5 common habits that kill your motivation and energy.
Oh.
We're going to do that when we actually, know what? No. Let's skip that one. We don't have enough time. I want to talk about why Gen Z doesn't want to share their food.
Oh, this is a big topic. Yes. I don't share.
Yeah, for sure. Barney Styles is over in the stream. He says, "You'd trade us for 1 million followers without a second thought." Don't believe it, bud.
I don't think so. It's like those questions. If you had $1 million, would you do this or that?
Yeah. No. Because I'll tell you, I think, I believe that with the Cantina Crew that we are going to make $1 million one day. So I'm putting my faith and my confidence in you. 1 million followers.
To remember the people that were with you along the way. That's very important.
Exactly. You got to understand, 1 million followers, that's very fickle, right? But the Cantina Crew for life. We'll be back with more on the Wake Up America Show at wakeupamericashow.com.
Want an engaging website to boost your business? You're just a click away from 5-star Fiverr talent. Hundreds of freelancer skills like web design. Head to Fiverr.com today and get something started.
American conservatism is distinct, like America is distinct from the United Kingdom. American conservatism's roots comes out of the Wild West, out of pioneerism. The difference between American conservatives and European conservatives is that Americans are cowboys. We are that God, guns, gold, and girls. It's wild here, and we should stay that way. We shouldn't allow a European version of conservatism to come and infect us here. We like it wide open spaces here, deep in the heart of Texas and all that.
Hey there, it's your favorite Vice President Joe Biden. I wanted to talk to you today about the Wake Up America show, the best source for all your political news and commentary. But before I get started, let me just make sure I have all my notes in order. Okay, where was I? All right, the Wake Up America show. It's a great way to stay informed and make your voice heard. Boy, what was I saying again? Oh, right. The Wake Up America show. It's important that we all stay engaged and knowledgeable about what's going on in our country and, the thing. But hold on, where was I going with all this? Oh, yeah. The Wake Up America show. It's a fantastic resource. And if you really want to make a difference, man, you can sign up to be a monthly donor at wakeupamerica.com/support. Now, where was I? Oh, that's right, the Wake Up America show. So if you want to stay woke and support a great cause, head on over to wakeupamerica.com/support and sign up to be a monthly donor today. And if you're feeling generous, you can even give a donation in my name. Thanks for listening, and keep on keeping on, America. Come on, man.
George. Thank you for watching the Wake Up America show with my dad. Today, I'd like to share with you 3 reasons why you should visit Dad's online store at apforlibertyshop.com. Number 1. You can get exclusive freedom-loving merch designed by AP himself, or me mum, Steffi. Liberty Laura has made some designs as well, and blimey, they are great! Number 2. Most of these products are so wicked that they aren't even allowed to be advertised on Facebook or Instagram. Modern machine guns and a proper keychain. Plus, our Grover Cleveland t-shirt is so spicy apparently that leftists on Facebook specifically banned it from appearing on the website. Number 3. You're supporting liberty lovers just like you. Spend your money where you earn it, and you help me Pops build a community that supports what you believe. Bloody hell! This commercial is running too long. Gotta run. Bye now. Don't forget to visit apforlibertyshop.com. That's apforlibertyshop.com.
Come back. Good morning, Rise and Freedom. I'm Austin Peterson. You're watching and listening to the Wake Up America show. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Thanks for tuning in today. Glad to have you here. My lovely wife, Stephanie Peterson, joining us in studio as we speak. Hey, Steffi.
Hello.
Give her a nice little round of applause as well. Good to see you here. Hopefully everything is working on the audio front, because I did a new scene to show people the shirt that you made, which is the OO government shirt, which a lot of people have been talking about lately.
Yes.
We've sold a lot of the OO government shirts. Yes.
Okay.
I think it's that very, very attractive model that helps sell it. Yeah, for sure. That does do a little bit there. We need to get a picture of you wearing one, though, so we can really sell them, because
Yeah, I still love to model Liberty t-shirts. I probably need to get back into that again.
For sure. They're talking about being horn dogs over there on the stream this morning. So
That's not exactly appropriate.
Hit the laugh track button there.
Yeah.
All right.
We might get demonetized for that.
I don't think so. We can say horn dog on the stream. I think we're okay there. But anyways, we were talking about gratefulness and gratitude before we go. And now we're going to talk about something before we go. So another fun topic, which is Gen Z doesn't want to share food. I talked about this the other day, but I don't think I gave it the real attention that it deserved because everybody had an opinion about this one. But this was a new poll that was done by Fogo de Chao. That show that apparently millennials and Gen Z doesn't want to share their food, according to this poll. So before I get into the details, just give us your thoughts, Steffi. Food share? No.
Well, yes and no. See, food sharing means something different to me than it means for other people. For me, I think about germs. So sharing means, are you dipping your carrots in the same ranch? That's sharing to me.
So the double dip question, this is a Seinfeld episode, which you actually saw just recently, I think for the first time. The question, double dip.
Oh, yeah, that was gross.
Yeah, we will be talking about that in a moment, but this is a whole series of like food sharing in different ways.
Of sharing, yes, I do share food.
Okay, but then there's another type of sharing that we'll just briefly touch on here. A third of Americans don't think that the bill should be split evenly.
Correct.
If the meals don't cost the same amount.
Yeah, because here's the thing. I'm a cheapie. I'm a cheap date when you take me out. I don't order soda. Usually never. I always get cup of water, not even bottle of water.
Michael Nip says, only poors share food. I kid. Very funny, Michael. Michael wore his EU government shirt last night, by the way. I can't wait to hear the reactions that you guys are getting from them, so make sure that you do it. Also, if you haven't written a review for any of your products you've bought at AP for Liberty Shop, will you please? We would be super grateful. And if you post a picture with your review, I really appreciate that, and I might even send you an email with a link.
Bad mouth us with a photo, because I've done that before, and I got found out.
For sure, yes. It would be nice reviews only.
Yes.
We appreciate while we try and grow.
You don't want your face to be connected to a negative review.
One of the things that we've learned, exactly. One of the things that we've learned about online e-commerce is that social proof is really important.
Oh yeah.
So if you bought an item from the shop and you like post a picture of you with your shirt or your Trump boot or whatever, like really like it, say what you like about it, 5 stars. Other people who see that are more likely to buy it as well. So
absolutely,
it helps us.
Just like you posted, wasn't that Jay-Z wearing the retired?
Yeah. Oh God, I should probably try and pull that picture up.
Social proof, right? Yeah, he's wearing something that you're selling.
So the richest black man in the world, Jay-Z, he's a billionaire. He has our drug dealer hat that says retired drug dealer that looks like the veterans cap. So like the retired veterans. So
those hats sell a lot.
We sell a lot of retired drug dealer hats. Verna, your mom is over there shaking her head back and forth.
They're changed.
She's retired. Hey, now you could just be retired pharmacist, retired drug dealer.
Hey, back in the day, the 60s and the 70s, they were probably drug dealing during, love, harmony.
Yeah, exactly. Retired
era.
Hippie
days.
Yeah. So whether you're a big pharma shill or whether you're just a common street dealer, then
mom is a pharmacy tech.
There you
She's
go.
A retired drug dealer.
Drug dealer over there. Let's give her hit the applause button for mom. She's a retired drug dealer.
Get her that hat.
Yes, we will. We'll get her one of those at apforlibertyshop.com. All right, we're talking about sharing. So if the food is all even, right? Y'all get the same thing. Then fine, split the bill, right?
Yes, if it's exactly the same.
But if you know how it is, you don't drink, I drink. Yes. If we were going to split the bill, then I'd pay.
You're not a cheap date.
I am not a cheap date. I'm a very expensive date because I have very fine taste in food and in alcohol, as you can tell from the nice little sweet summer child, some double chin that you can see in this, which somebody pointed out there. Yes. So splitting the bill, obviously, you don't want to pay. If you just got like a carrot or something like that, make everybody split the bill. It doesn't make sense.
Right.
A February survey of 2,000 U.S. adults explored things people struggle with sharing and found that even with family members, this is just sharing in general, only 26% are okay with sharing personal information like passwords and text messages.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even think you have my passwords, honestly, because you don't need them.
No, but you have all my passwords because you need them.
And I don't want them.
But you can have them. And I mean, and like
use them how most couples use them to check on each other.
For sure.
Use them for that.
Like I love that I'm in a relationship now where like there's nothing going on that's untoward on my phone. So like if Stephanie is looking over my shoulder on a computer, then it doesn't matter, because even if a girl sends me an inappropriate message, I'm going to show it to her. So that's a message for all you ladies out there.
Laugh about it
And
and
we'll both
talk about the person.
exactly. We'll both laugh at you
Yeah.
and talk at you and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
because they used to, when we first started dating,
Mhm.
that was going on a
Oh,
lot.
yeah.
And in previous relationships that I had, when I wasn't committed, I would be talking to multiple people. So you wouldn't want to have your phone,
No.
shown around, because
So that was danger territory
that
for
was always
you.
dangerous
Yeah.
back in the day. But now,
Yeah.
thankfully, I'm a one-woman man now, and so I
Mhm.
don't have to worry about that. And
Yeah.
Stephanie has my passwords, right?
Yeah.
And I don't even try and look at your phone ever.
No.
When it comes to their partner, people reveal they are likely to share things like clothing. Which, how the hell would partners share clothing? 50%.
Well, with your husband. I mean, I actually do wear your boxer shorts.
Okay, so
as pajamas.
yeah,
Yep.
there you go. I'm on that one. You can borrow any of my clothes that you want, baby doll. Money, 57%. We don't even care. I buy you for you, you buy for me. We don't keep track. 2 in 3 respondents in a relationship said when sitting down for a meal with their partner, this is where things get a little sticky. What's theirs is theirs, and they won't share. With millennials, the largest demographic, our generation, sharing this anti-sharing sentiment. 74% of people in our generation do not want to share a meal with their partner.
Yeah, I mean, I'm totally fine with that. All the time when I have a lot of food on my plate and I'm not super hungry, I'll be like, "Do you want more? Here, take more, take more." Or if there's more in the bowl, after I've gotten done cooking, you'll take the extras if you're still hungry.
Strangers in the dark.
Let's assume, here's the thing. I see men as needing more food than women. They really do.
We do. We need the big piece of chicken, as Chris Rock said in his famous stand-up special. Daddy needs the big piece of chicken. Yes.
So when I make us a pizza, let's say, I give you more than half of the pizza.
Rvolt24 says, notice how many of these things are she borrows, uses of his, not the other way around, LOL. Well, it's just practical, because, I mean, how many...
Anything of mine? I don't think you'd fit into anything of mine.
Maybe your bra.